Love and light. So I fixed the smoke detector. Big news. Alright. So I got asked about demons, and I know I've spoken about it before, but I've got a lot of videos. So I was looking to just share the video that I spoke about it before, but I've got a lot of videos. So I'm just going to make a new one. So above fifth density, there is no darkness, there is no separation. There is only unity, love, and light. And we would not call a fifth density dark one a demon either. You can refer to demons. Yes, they exist in the lower realms, okay? You can refer to a demon. There are several ways a demon can be formed, but they are basically artificial intelligence. They are manifestations of the Matrix. Now, this either means they were created as such, or they have degenerated into such state, okay? And of course, we may have a human acting like a demon, but we would not necessarily call him a demon unless the soul has departed, unless they have become a soulless one. That's when I personally would say this is a demon, and not just a negative being or sorcerer or something. So, from the case that they are created, let's say you hate someone and you wanted to hurt them magically, or if you just fantasize about them being hurt over and over and over and over. Now understand, if their higher self doesn't want them to die, it's not going to happen, no matter what you try to do. But you can, you could shift yourself into a reality where you experience as such, but you would have to leave the consensus, okay? But you could cause some amount of negativity for them. But what most people end up doing is actually just feeding this energy into the creation of some kind of demonic personality or form with limited intelligence. Now, the more powerful you are and the more energy you give it, the more real it will become. And at some point, just like a cat or a wild animal, through either looking in a lake or some experience of themselves, or through the interaction with third density egos, can form an ego and become individualized themselves. In the same way, a thought form, through its interactions with its environment in the astral world once created, may take on a life of its own. And if it is not ensouled and being guided by the light of the soul, it will invariably fall into the well of darkness. As part of the greater shadow, you can think of it as what is lost to the Matrix, or the energy of the Matrix that is being recycled into itself over and over, from one demon face to another, until eventually it is finally healed in the end. As all service to self paths are, the service to self path is a pyramid scheme. All power flows to the top. It is not shared equally, as in the paths of light. So, the demonic forces are constantly eating each other, vying for strength, But you may think of them in truth, I do, as simply the shadow. I give no individuality to them, whether they give it to themselves or not. The shadow is the shadow to me, which is only the apparent absence of light, the apparent absence of God, which in truth cannot be. And so when I see a demon or a dark one, I question its validity. I question, how can it exist? And generally it cannot within my presence. Not unless there is an actual dark personality playing behind it. As far as soulless ones, a human, either in the body, may sell his soul, and then that personality, after death, will become a demon, a demonic force. To sell the soul, understand, I don't mean Sometimes we refer to selling the soul as, for instance, an elite person who has repeatedly chosen greed over the value of life, and their brothers and sisters here who has repeatedly attempted to make themselves appear better than all of their brothers and sisters in the family. But this does not mean they have necessarily actually sold their soul. However, if they have gained true occult powers, if they have gained substantial power, they may have. And this is not a good deal. The soul gets no benefit from this. The moment that decision is made, the actual being that one is gone. It departs. It doesn't harm the soul. The soul cannot be lost. But this personality will just be a personality. And at that moment, a dark shadow, demonic force, which is truly artificial intelligence for the Matrix, comes in, just like in the movie The Matrix. Anybody plugged into the Matrix can be taken over by the agents, by the Matrix at any time. They become Agent Smith. Right? Is that what it is? Was it Agent Smith? Or was Neo? Yeah, Neo was Mr. Anderson. Agent Smith was the Matrix one. Yeah. So any one of them can become that at any time. Once they do, they are soulless then. That personality will not be reborn and reincarnated and healed, until the whole shadow is healed at some point. If it will be healed at some point. Yeah. So that's the best explanation. Oh, also, when one dies, the other way one can become soulless is not through a deal or something like that. And this can also happen if someone just repeatedly, life after life, refuses to hear their soul. The personality gets more and more distorted. The soul may choose to depart at some point and start over. But when a personality, after death, if it is terrified of passing on and it clings to its own personality, then it may also become soulless there, right? It may be lost for a time into the dark realms and distorted into a demonic force. Now, many of these will be healed. Angels will come down and heal them, and they will be restored to their true etheric form there. But for a time, you may see them. I don't know, it could be 100 years experientially, or 1,000 years, or thousands, that they could exist in a form like a demon, pursuing only violence or sex or addiction or pettiness, just pursuing fear, lost in fear. There are hells, I've been there. There are hellscapes, yes. Fragments of our personalities can get lost there. Fragments of our souls can get lost there, sort of, for a time. It's not really as law, it's an experience that we're going through. It's just another realm. Anyone who's been to jail here on Earth, you've been to hell. Congratulations. I'm glad you've made it out. But understand, that's where you were. The Earth is not actually a place. It is billions of places. Love and light.